How's it going, everyone? We have an update for you about the main story quest gear that came in 6.0 KR and that we are anticipating we will have for ArcheAge Unchained. Now, as you saw in our previous video, we showed you how the gear worked and that you are given infusions and scrolls along your journey while you complete your main story quest, and it will allow you to upgrade this gear with you as you go along. What we recently discovered is that you can actually completely re-roll this gear from weapon to weapon or armor to armor. So if you start off as leather, you can change it to plate. If you start off with a two-handed weapon, you can go to two one-handed weapons. If you start off with a spear, you can change to a staff, and so on. Now, the way this works is the gear has to not be awakened into Haram yet, all right? It has to still be in its quest gear format. If you awaken the armor or weapons into the T1 Haram, you can no longer do this. But as long as it is still in its main story quest gear format, you can extract all of the infusions and scrolls that you've put into that piece of gear and use all of them on a new piece of gear. Now you might be wondering, how do we get this gear if we already chose it during the main story quest? Well, there are actually vendors here in the lower level regions of each faction zones where you can actually talk to them and purchase new ones from the level 1 format. So you can buy 2 one-handed crates for 2 silver, 50 copper, or you can buy a two-handed crate for 5 silver. Same thing over here. You can buy all of the different armor types. They have different appearances, and they are 10 silver per crate. You can buy uppers, lowers, and then all the extras with it as well. Those are 10 silver each. Now, in order to extract everything out of the item, you need to talk to another vendor and buy this stone. Not an even stone, not this Luna gemstone, this one right here. All right, we have 3 of them here. They're 5 silver each. So this whole process in general is actually pretty cheap. Now let's show you how it works. We have a pair of cloth here. These are leather gloves or leather bracers. We're going to change them into cloth bracers. All right, so we take the stone. We're going to extract right here like this. It destroys the item. So the item that you had is now gone, right? We take our new item, we put in our new infusion, and now we spend the silver and labor again. That is the only catch, is that you're going to have to re-spend your labor and money on it once more. But as you can see, we now have bracers that are back to the same grade and status of what that previous piece was. Now we're going to change it back to our leather ones. While we're talking about that, you said, yeah, but what about if it's a different tier? What if it's an awakened quest piece into the next format already? So if there are, during the main story quest part, there are 3 different upgrade paths where you awaken it to a higher main story quest path. At the max main story quest path, you awaken it into Haram. So there are actually 2 other awakenings before the Haram, but they are still in their main story quest format. Now, let me put these leather ones back to the way they belong, and then we'll show you what happens with the weapon. So our weapon is actually a T2 quest format piece right here. It's a staff with a Luna gem in it. So we're going to take this, we're going to break it down, extract everything out, and look, we got all of our infusions back. All of it is back. So now we're going to take our staff, we're going to upgrade it back again to where it was. You can do this with any weapon and any armor. Now that it's here, we have to awaken it once again. So this includes, you have to go through the awakening process all over again. Now that it's awakened, we can continue to synthesize it once more back to where it was. And it's gonna cost you, as I showed you, the golden labor that you've already spent before. And as we just saw, actually, this is important to note, you will lose any gems that you put inside of it. So if you do have Luna gems inside of it, it destroys the item and the Luna gems are gone. So that is definitely something worth noting. You will lose the Luna Gems, so don't put anything in it if you think you're going to re-roll it. All right. That's all it is, guys. It's really simple, very quick update about it. I just wanted to make sure that you all understood that if you start off as cloth and you get to max level and you want to re-roll your main story quest gear and you haven't awakened it yet into Haram, you can change it to leather, you can change it to plate, and vice versa. If you start off as two-handed and you decide you want to go one-handed dual wield, you can do that as well, or vice versa. Just keep in mind that it is a labor investment. You can use this to try and re-roll your stats during the upgrade process. If you fail to get the stats you want on your piece of gear, all right, you can do this again to try and re-roll all your stats again instead of trying to get brand new Haram. So best case scenario, if you are willing to invest the labor and the gold for it, you can pretty much guarantee yourself best 2 out of 3 stats before you go into Haram. It's really important. It saves you a lot of time and it will save you labor in the future. That's all it is, guys. Very simple. And I hope this helps you in the release of Unchained. Have a good one.